elephants.
Yeah,
as you
yeah,
may
elephants.
have
Yeah.
noticed.
Big white elephant.
Yeah, I
Tell
think
them as it is.
it's the elephant that is in the room. Anyways, let's move on to this. Forex restriction: milk imports to gulp 1.23 trillion naira. Importers of whole powdered milk may have a part to play with as much as 1.2 trillion naira annually to import enough product to meet Nigeria's supply shortfall of 1.1 million tons of milk. Investigations has shown the federal government has recently added milk to the list of items restricted from access to foreign exchange at the foreign exchange window. Yinka, please help us. Is it up to this amount?
According to
Is this
the
because this
import data we
Yeah.
have is about, I think, 1.2 billion dollars. So if you convert that, is around 360
I knew
billion
it.
naira. So I'm
See,
wondering where
you
the
can't
figure
lie,
came
you
from.
can't lie to me.
So yeah,
eh?
exactly.
You cannot lie to me because I saw the headline and I was saying this cannot be true.
So if you look at that, if you do the estimation, the rough estimation, using the I&E window rates, you probably land at around 500 billion naira. So 1.1 trillion naira. I'm wondering where the figure came
Somebody
from.
is trying
So,
to justify,
we just
yeah.
get this figure. People just put out figure, and you wonder where the figures are being picked from.
Yeah.
But according to the data we have, it should be around.
And
500
people
billion.
don't realize that this data is available. It's available.
Is it that they don't want to pay for it?
No, you see, at the end of the
They
day,
just want you to. They
we
just
must
want you to make
agree-
sense out
This
of it.
fits the narrative that they're trying to
Exactly,
push.
that's
So
the
when
narrative
people,
thing.
so
So
this
when they
when
hear
this goes
this,
out now, they'll be like,
Oh,
no
really?
wonder
Exactly.
they ban milk.
Then it,
Can
exactly,
you
it makes
imagine?
sense.
It
I was
don't
already
make
upset.
sense.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
How?
drinking all this milk. That's the answer.
Exactly.
Who is drinking all this milk? 1.2 trillion. I beg, start listening to them. I don't drink milk in Nigeria. Who are these people? That's where I started
You
from.
get?
I was
You get?
upset.
As
So,
in,
you
and,
know,
and bo-
kind of
looking at the
emotional.
fact that a lot of us Nigerians are lactose intolerant.
Yeah,
you know,
so
think-
many of us.
Is
Was
there
that why
one-
it stinks outside? Okay. I didn't know.
You want to think about the fact that when I saw the headline, I was like, I'll bring it here so that it won't be. I will just discard it, so that let's talk about it here, so that people,
Yeah,
City of Lagos can also see how this headlines.
I'm misleading.
Oh Jesus! You need to see. Sometimes I even speak to some of the editors and I'll be like, what did you mean here? Because you're like, what I was trying to say, but that was not what you now said. It's two different things.
Capacity
Okay,
issue.
yeah, capacity. Well, anyways, moving away from that, we see the fact that trying to go straight into it. Quickly, can we talk about this Fashola taking a dig at it says so backyard and failed economists criticizing Buhari's borrowing, says Fashola. One of the people that has criticized government borrowing is part of the Economic Advisory Council now. So I don't how is Dr. Chukwuma Soludo. So I don't know if he's not failed. He's former CBN
He's
governor.
not. I don't think he would be among the.
If that is
if
if
backyard
that is
economist.
a failure, then I want to fail.
I'm sure.
Can I fail?
I'm sure the minister was talking about Yinka and Wale.
Yeah. I suspect he was talking about Yinka, especially
I also
Yinka.
talk about the Facebook economists like me.
Yeah.
On Facebook, I'm a fantastic economist. One of the best.
So he
Political
says that
scientist and economist.
in his keynote address at the Lagos Business School, which of course is one of the reasons why I brought this up. He said it in amongst intellectuals, and nobody questioned it.
I'm wondering what you want. What exactly do you want
Want
people
them
to say?
right?
Well, okay, so, no, but not everybody
I
can.
also
Yeah,
question the intellectuals part too.
yeah. That I started thinking about. I said, I
You're
would,
the one that said it. so
yeah,
I
you
side-eyed
know,
you when I said
But a
yeah.
speech, giving a speech is not a Q&A session.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
So
if,
it's
if
not
you,
like
if you have
Exactly.
given the Q&A, okay, yes, maybe. Well, yeah.
And honestly, we lack backbones in this country.
Yeah.
So even if somebody had an opposing view, they wouldn't air it.
no, it's respect.
Whatever that
Yeah,
means.
whatever. Yeah,
I
true.
have very little respect these days.
No, you see, at some point you realize that you just need to question. I've been in one of those meetings where somebody presented a budget. I won't say which kind of budget. It was a budget, and the person was trying to talk about ways that they plan. No, it was just the budget, and I said, question. said yes. I said, so these are issues with your revenue. These are issues with your expenditure. How are you going to solve it? The person said, I'm not the one to answer that question.
But he's the one presenting.
Just
He
present.
just kept presenting. It was only
I
place
was
to
co-
present.
We need to bring Oga on
You
the
know,
top again.
honestly,
Oga at the top.
I
is gonna
looked
answer that
around
question.
me as in like,
Oh my
can you guys hear
goodness.
what he said? As in,
Wow.
am I the only one that just heard? But yeah, he said it with the, he said, the person that answered that question has gone.
You'll probably not get another
No,
invite.
I did not actually. I did not.
So
Yeah.
guys, this
I'm
is-
sure
You're
they're
asking too many
This is
questions.
also a capacity
they're
issue.
like, oh yeah, blacklist that guy.
No, let him come again.
No, I'm coming in.
I mean, the last number I saw, I don't know whether it's correct. I thought I read a couple of days, we owe $80 billion, but only make about 45. I don't know what it is, but I think the larger issue is that, yeah, it's good to borrow. I think leverage is good to an extent. When you look at optimal capital structure,
Yeah.
there's a level at which you pass and then it's too much. But that's not the issue. The issue is that you borrow this money. Sometimes when you look at the use of proceeds for states or federal government, it may include OPEX, salary,
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
of it.
and stuff, and that is the issue, right? If
Yeah,
if,
that
if
is
for
the largest
instance,
component.
if Lagos State borrows money and they finished the rail,
Yeah.
and now we've got 3 million people who are,
Now using
Off
that rail,
the
off
roads,
the roads,
right,
and then
which are
the
a
rail is
problem.
also earning revenue.
and then the rail is working and
Yeah.
making sense,
And
and
boosting the economy.
then
Well,
it's
gonna
fine.
get
It's
But
fine,
so
yeah.
there's some nuance to this conversation
Yeah.
that I think we're missing. It is probably true that some people who can't manage their small business took some shots at Fashola and he's trying to get back at them. But I think the larger issue is, we get you go out and you get money back from stolen funds, but we don't know where it's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
You want increase in VAT,
VAT.
but we don't know where it's going because even the first 5% you haven't really told us.
How much
So,
you
what-
what
and
you
then,
use it for.
so that's
to,
the
to,
issue.
to add a further perspective to all of this conversation, right? For Nigeria, if you look at the debt to GDP on its own, it's
It looks
standing,
sustainable,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
standing in a comfortable level, at a comfortable level of
Sorry,
about
City of Lagos, I want to do this.
23%.
I'm not going to allow you.
Wait,
to
no, I'm
continue
going
until
somewhere, I'm going somewhere.
Yinka, I'm going to
So
do this.
tax to
first of all.
revenue, we
By
have to
the
talk
way,
about that.
because I am an economist
Okay.
also, I know that the thing we are trained to do
Correct.
is to make sense of what we believe.
Exactly.
So,
no,
we
no,
can
let-
make sense of what we are doing, and we
Correct.
can make sense against it.
Correct.
So,
correct.
Yeah, you can
so let me
continue.
add further perspective. Right? So I'm talking about tax to GDP. Tax to the GDP stood at standing around 23%.
Yeah, which is
currently, which is
currently
comfortable. Because
comfortable.
if you look at other African countries,
Yeah,
you see
and when
around
you now compare,
75%.
yeah.
So we are doing comfortably. So
Yeah.
you looking at that ratio. But if you look at the tax to revenue of Nigeria, it is saying that it is not sustainable.
Yeah.
So
I think
that
we're
is
about
why
5%
that is
or
why
so.
the narrative at the moment is we have room to borrow more, but our revenue generation
It's poor.
is very poor. We need to improve on it so as to create further room for us to do more borrowing, leverage in that sense. Because if you look at tax to revenue is around 75% or
But if tax
thereabouts.
increases,
So
there won't be as much
in-
need
in-
to borrow.
Correct. In economic theory, so in economic policy, so you have three key things. You have the revenue, you have the expenditure on one hand, then you have savings or surplus or
Yeah,
debt.
yeah.
So Nigeria is actually increasing minimum wage to about 30,000 naira. That has not been fully implemented. At 18,000 naira, we were already owing, at the subnational level, we're owing workers. Now you are increasing to 30,000 naira. Where do you need to, where are you going to get the money from? Is either you grow your revenue, which has been the narrative from the CBN, from the Minister
day
of
one,
Finance, that we don't have a debt problem, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What we have is a revenue problem. If we can improve on our revenue, especially from the non-oil, because oil is a very volatile place to get revenue
yeah.
from. You can see the volatility.
By
in
the way,
oil
City of
market.
Lagos, know that there's no administration that is crazy,
Correct.
right? And they won't go borrowing if someone like Yinka has not explained to them.
Correct.
Because
correct,
there's a narrative
correct.
to
Yeah,
it.
there's
Debt to GDP is actually sustainable. I think we're at
23%.
23%.
Yeah.
There are countries with 40, some as high as 70, so, and those countries are doing very well.
Correct.
But the easy
The
thing
elephant
that
in
you
the room.
miss from it, the elephant in the room. Yeah, we're
Correct.
going to name this
Yeah.
show the elephant,
Elephant
in the room.
Why is
Yeah.
elephant in the room?
The elephant in
That's
the
why I'm
room.
smiling. and
The
looking at
elephant
you.
in the room is that those countries are making massive revenue.
That's
The taxes are huge.
So you could see the drive that you could see that now after highlighting this, there are two things to be done: grow your revenue or borrow more. Now the masses are shouting.